Space Cats, it's Jules here with another video on illustration and publishing. And this week I thought we'd come to the studio. Oh yes, it's a drawing week this week, and in fact next week as well, but I'll tell you about that a bit later on. If you are really interested in making children's books, and particularly children's picture books, then make sure you press that subscribe button, because that's basically all I talk about, is how to go about making your own books. And if it's something that you really feel passionate about, then please have a look at some of my other videos, because they will definitely help you. So I was pondering, what is it that you might need to know how to draw that a lot of people struggle with? And the thought popped into my head, horses. And then secondly, unicorns. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is horses and unicorns. Are you ready? Get your pencil out. The first thing I'm going to do is draw a oval shape on a slant for the head. And then just bring another sort of like little curved shape around the bottom of that, and that's the nose area. And then a line diagonally in the opposite direction, and another curved sort of a lozenge shape like that for the horse's body. Tail's going to come out here somewhere, and then we're going to have one leg. This is the leg nearest us, coming straight down, and the leg on the other side is kind of held up at an angle like that. Apologies if you can hear my neighbour trimming their lawn. It is a summer evening. Oh, I have gravel, so no lawn. Right, so back leg nearest us, and then just a little show of where that muscle is, and the other one will be behind it. So if I now take my black marker, and this is a Papermate Flare. Oh dear, Space Cat friend, I literally couldn't do that to you. That noise was dreadful. So I'm just going to talk you through it. The ears are pointing forwards rather than sideways. If he was scared or worried about something, his ears would be pointing to the side, but he's happy, so he's got his ears pointing forwards. And then it's just a question of following those shapes around. That big jaw muscle at the side there has that curve. The flat bit of the nose is on the top, and then we're going to draw the neck, and that comes down towards the chest, and that curve of the chest, and then straight down to the foot. There's the hoof. I want to make sure that the hooves are in the right place for front and back, otherwise it's going to look like he's lopsided. So I drew that back foot in as well. And then he's got his mane coming down the back of his neck, so you don't see the neck, you just see all the hair and the mane. And then straight across for the back. That leg muscle there, I'm just going to draw that curve and then stretch it down to the hoof. And then on the back of the foot, they've got that funny little knobbly bit that joins down to the hoof. It's on the back of the foot. I'm going to call it a thumb. It reminds me of a thumb. Joining the back of the leg up to the thumb. I think I might have just made that up. And then the same with the front leg as well. It's got that funny little knobbly bit before you get as far as the hoof. Join that front and back leg together with the tummy. The back, the leg is further away from us. You just follow the front leg, but make it slightly shorter, so you've got that foreshortened view. And the same sort of thing with that other front leg, but this one he's just kind of slightly sort of in a bit of a playful way, just kicking that front leg out a little bit. Now we can do a big bushy tail and make it as full or as thin as you want it to be, and some facial features. So I've got an eye with an eyelid, and he's quite happy, he's quite relaxed, so that helps his expression to make that eyelid halfway across. It makes him look like he's a happy guy, a little smiley bit. And then I need to draw the reins. So we've got one bit that goes across the nose, one bit that goes up to the ears, and then a horizontal bit that kind of joins the two together. And then the bit that you hold on to if you are jiggling around on the back of the horse goes like that. And not forgetting he needs to be standing on something. So we're going to have him in his paddock. There's a bit of grass. And it just kind of puts him in place and shows us where he is in the world. And then maybe because he's got quite a nice expression on his face, I'm wondering if maybe he's looking at somebody. Maybe he's looking at a unicorn. Let's draw a unicorn. So I'm going to do the same sort of principle. This one's going to be a bit smaller. I'm just going to do that sort of lozenge shape and then a curved bit for the nose. Diagonal for neck. And then a kind of smaller, squatter body. Perhaps like that. And she's kind of prancing. So let's have one leg backwards and the other leg kind of in a more sort of comfortable walk position. And then they have big tails, don't they, unicorns? Let's give her a big, really big tail. And her back leg, the leg that's furthest from us, is just going to kick out slightly like this. And of course she's going to have her unicorn's horn. So that's the start of our shapes. Let's see what we can make of it. So I'm just going to draw a little bit of fur around her ears to start with. Let's have one pointing up and the other one we're going to have hiding behind the horn. So I'll draw the horn in a minute. I'm going to draw the face first of all. Like this. And then that big muscle of that bottom jaw. Let's give her a smile. And this time this one's going to be having a closed eye because she's a very confident unicorn. She knows what she's doing. And there's her horn. And then we'll have the other ear sort of slightly hiding behind it. Like that. And then big old mane. And her neck. Meeting onto her chest and then her leg. Now I'm going to draw the back leg. I'm going to make sure that that is level so that we don't have one leg longer than the other. And there's her belly. And there's her back. I'll leave that gap for the tail. Let's do her front leg. I'm going to sweep down like that. There's the hoof. And then her back leg was kind of just kicking out like that. Let's give her a big poofy tail. And if I was going to colour this in, I would colour that all in rainbow colours. And the same with her mane. And let's give her something to stand on. Grass, because they're in the same paddock. And the last thing I will do is just to give this a little bit of detail, this horn. So I'm just going to do some lines coming in from the left hand side all the way up, and that shows that that's the unicorn's horn. I'll just give her a bit more hair around that front bit. And that is how you draw a unicorn and a horse in the same paddock. Splendid! Well, next week we're going to be looking at moonlight and how the heckity heck you get that right. And I'm going to be using something a little bit different to normal. If you thought this was a worthwhile way of spending 10 minutes of your life, then I'd really appreciate it if you could give me a like, and also share it with anyone who you think desperately needs to know how to draw a unicorn. Okay, that's it. I will see you next week. Nano.